I've been playing LA Noire
Mm-hmm.
by Rockstar Games. Phenomenal game.
Yeah, we love Rockstar games.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Like, Rockstar makes the best games. Any other games are the best games. Like, I can't even decide which one is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead Redemption could be the best one. GTA 5 could be the best one.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2, so fucking amazing. I don't know if I put it up there with the first one,
Mm-hmm.
but LA Noire, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
The best games ever made, dude.
Dude, those are always the consensus of like the video games we play. It's
Yeah.
like the Rockstar games, like how cinematic they can be with the storytelling
Yeah.
and how open world it is.
Mm.
Oh, dude, those are the perfect games.
No, I love movies so much, and the people who make Rockstar games love movies.
They love it.
Like
Yeah.
they love them so much. LA Noire might have the best story
Mm-hmm.
out of all of the fucking Rockstar games. In LA Noire, you're playing a detective, and if you drive down like, downtown LA, there's like marquees for like theaters and shit there, and you'll see like names of movies that actually came out in 1947 or 1948, because that's when the movie takes place. And you see movies like Odd Man Out and The Lady from Shanghai,
Mm-hmm.
which is a movie that we're going to talk about now
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to watch it. But yeah, so one of the movies that inspired LA Noire was The Lady from Shanghai, which is a 1947 noir crime thriller mystery directed by the one and only legendary Orson Welles, adapted from a book. I forgot the name of it.
If I die before I wake.
If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. But please
Can't
don't
sing
cry.
that. Book is by R. Shumat King.
Yeah. So basically, Orson Welles had a deal after a movie he made before this, like, went over budget or some shit. And
It
they
was
were
Around the World, which is based on the Jules Verne book,
Yeah.
Around the World in 80 Days.
They said to him, okay, you need to make a movie for us that's a good genre piece that can make money. He's like, okay, I got this book, cool little noir story type shit. He's like, okay, I'm going to, like, make this, not necessarily basic story, but I'm going to take this basic story and then put my spin of my craft and technique
Mm-hmm.
on it, which is what this film is.
Mhm.
The story isn't necessarily anything special.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of predictable. It kind of has all the noir elements in it, like the femme fatale,
Mm-hmm.
who's played by Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, his
Fucking-
wife at the time.
She's gorgeous, dude. She's fucking stunning, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
She's
She
so
really
good in
is.
this. Like, she is so nice to look at. All those
Mhm.
close-ups they do of her. I feel like they only do close-ups of her.
And Orson, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that one dude that's was it Grisby or something like that? The other partner of the firm. They do weird close-ups of him where he's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
you
the very-
killed me.
Yeah, they're very characterized, kind of archetypal characters of the noir storytelling. And I don't know if you've ever seen Fletch with Chevy Chase.
I did, yeah.
Fletch has the same plot elements
Mm-hmm.
of Lady from Shanghai, except it's a comedy where a detective or someone is hired to fake someone else's deaths, and they get involved in this plot, this conspiracy plot. Have to like get the blamed, have to like are going to take the fall for it, and they have to prove their innocence. And there's like two-sided characters. But do you want to go over like what the plot is and shit?
Yeah, so Orson Welles, it starts with a really cool voiceover. Like the first scene, the way it's written, I can see why this movie was made. Because it's made with like so much craft just in the writing and the way they present the story. Yeah, you just get drawn in instantly. But basically, it follows Orson Welles, who plays this Irish guy with a really weird Irish accent from Orson Welles, like almost indistinguishable at first. You really have to get used to it. But he plays this Irish guy named Michael O'Hare, and he basically is drunk at night, wandering around. He runs into this carriage. Rita Hayworth's in the carriage. And she's this very elegant woman, kind of mysterious. She says, I've lived in Shanghai. I've lived all over the place. You don't really know. She's just mysterious from the start.
She thinks about love in Chinese.
Yeah, she thinks
the
about
way that
love
the
and-
French think about laughter.
Yeah.
Or whatever he says.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically at the beginning, she gets robbed and mugged in the park, and Orson Welles comes and saves the day, even though in the voiceover he's saying it's so fucking wild that I did that, because that's not something I would ever do. And then he's like, I fell into this plot because of that. And basically she hires him he's a sailor, hires him to sail their yacht for her husband.
Yeah,
and
he
just-
saves her life.
Yeah. he just gets drawn into this like crazy plot that you know it's coming from a mile away. He knows it's coming from a mile away, but he still does it. And I love how kind of self-aware they are of this, where he's like, I'm a fool, you know? And they kind of like, it makes it more believable that he's like drawn in by this woman, but he's also like, dude, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I here? I don't want to be here.
Yeah. He realizes there's something shady about it, but he's like intrigued, stepping his foot into some dangerous territory. And
Yeah.
you don't know who to trust in this.
Yeah.
He gets set up to kill this guy for how much money? Like $5,000?
5,000, yeah.
Which I guess is a lot in 1947, you know. And he has he's like an unemployed writer, drifter kind of character.
Yeah, but the thing that was kind of inconsistent about the movie is I feel like halfway through the character changes a bit, where before he was so strong in his values of money doesn't rule my life, and then suddenly this money's offered to him, but it's not only the money, it's money with the promise of the girl.
Yeah, and he's conflicted with the girl because she's, you know, you believe that she loves him throughout the movie, even though it's all just a ruse for the whole plot of the faking of the death and the pinning of the death.
Yeah, he's the fall guy.
The motive of everything. I mean, we have these thematics in the story where he's with this really, really rich guy on this boat. They kind of have this little debate about how you think that money, like owning things is, you know, he's like, oh yeah, like not having a lot of money or things kind of frees my mind and stuff, and I feel free. Theme of like owning things makes you kind of a prisoner to it, right? Even if you're super duper rich, you have all these things, all these responsibilities. You know, you own a boat, a house, you got people working for you, you have all this overhead that you got to deal with, and the way that you're kind of a slave to it is you have to keep making money to pay for all of these things. Whereas Orson Welles is just like a writer, like no possessions, just kind of like a free Buddhist spirit. You know, we kind of have this sort of Michael Mann thief quality to it.
Yeah, no, it's true. What does he say at the beginning? He's like, why the fuck would I come work for you? What's James Caan say?
He's like, I'm the boss of myself. He's like, I'm self-employed. I'm a contractor. I do it on my own. Why the fuck would I come work for you then?
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yeah. I really liked it. I think out of all the pictures we watched, it might be my favorite, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of these three?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about the technical aspect of it because it's fucking so next level.
Dude, it really is.
All the camera work, all the editing, all the lighting.
Yeah, the way Orson Welles breaks down storytelling in like a visual medium is so revolutionary, and you're still like, even now you're like, fuck, dude, like it's better than movies that come out today. Just the way he's able to present this to the audience. He was a genius, dude, and there's no denying that. He was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But he was also a genius.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely a genius. I mean, we don't need to debate about that. I mean, he made like Citizen Kane, Magnificent Ambersons, F for Fake, Other Side of the Wind, Touch of Evil, Mr. Arkadin, Othello. Like the story, you know, it's all right. It's kind of convoluted and stuff. Sometimes what's going on, you know, to follow, but it's all fucking made up for in the end, bro. The climax of this whole movie is so fucking cool. It's one of the best climaxes I've ever seen for like a classic Hollywood movie, and just in general, like and this is the most famous scene. This is like what the movie is known for, is the mirror scene, and even the whole sequence when he goes into the fun house and stuff, and he's like kind of like drunk or whatever, and he's like dealing with all these like obstacles and so trippy and shit. So fucking cool. Yeah. And then you have the climax of, you know, the revelation of everything in the whole mirrored hall sequence. Good, dude.
Aquarium scene, dude.
Yeah.
That's like pinnacle noir, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good the way they present it. They have a wide angle like master shot of like the aquarium they're walking, and then they do the close-ups, and there's the projector behind them to like magnify the fish up really close, and there's these like huge fish, and it just gives you the sense that he's like out of his depth and there's something bad happening. He's swimming with the sharks, as he said. You know it's coming around you, and just like it really amps up the whole thrill of the movie.
Yeah, and it's also foreshadowed when he's on the boat, 'cause he talks about sharks, or the story he was like in the water with blood, or when there's sharks like surrounding him. But the mirror sequence, I don't even know how they did that, dude. Yeah. How do you plan that out? How do you like, what are they shooting? Like, what am I looking at? Like, I don't even know how they did that. Is it like compositing? Is it all in camera? I think it's all in camera practicals with the mirrors. And
it's all practical. I think what they did is they had like a filter in front of the lens, which is broken. They did so many like cuts and shots in there. So a little like background of this film. So as you said, Orson Welles, previously he needed more money for the film he was doing, which was Around the World. And so Harry Cohen, who was the head of, I think it was like...
RKO?
Yeah, it was Columbia.
Oh, Columbia.
And he said, okay, I'll give you more financing if you agree to do this other movie and don't go over budget. So Orson Welles made Lady of Shanghai. He didn't go over budget, but Harry Cohen didn't like it. He's like, this is way too confusing. And the carnival scene at the end was originally 20 minutes long, cut down to 3 minutes. Because technically this movie was released in 1948 after a year of extensive editing of the film.
Oh, shit.
So the original footage, the original 20 minutes carnival scene is lost. No one can get that footage. It's kind of crazy that Orson Welles, of course he's going to swing big. He made this like crazy epic scene at the end and of course cut down to 3 minutes. And the funny thing is...
Is there a cut of that somewhere, or is it just doesn't exist?
No, it doesn't exist. Apparently it's lost. Oh. The original is in the Academy Archive, which is cool.
Wait, so it does exist?
No, not the...
Oh, the original...
The original cut of the 3 minute carnival scene. Okay. So the funny thing is, though, Orson Welles has this reputation of going over budget. But the only reason he went over budget for Lady of Shanghai is because Harry Cohen insisted that he edit it down.
Yeah.
And so he was forced to go over budget for Lady of Shanghai.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a flop when it came out.
Yeah, that sucks. The whole progression of that climax is so cool. Like the fact that like they're all shooting at each other and like one shooting down one mirror, and it's kind of a cat and mouse chess piece move. Like, okay, who's gonna shoot each other first? You know what I mean? And it's just so cool. And like it is some genius filmmaking there. Like, I recommend just going on YouTube and watching it if you haven't even seen it, because it's just so cool to watch. But then the fact that it's like all this build up throughout the whole movie and the ending is the best part. Like I've said, I like when the ending for me needs to be the best impactful part of the movie, because that's like what caps it off. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to have too strong of scenes in the beginning. A lot of movies have like really strong scenes in the beginning and you're really drawn into it, and then it just kind of like slowly like tapers out and it's kind of like disappointing by the end. You know what I mean? But this movie like has a build to it, and that final climax scene really like hits the nail on the head for me.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the scene in the Chinese theater when he's kind of hiding from the cops after the trial.
He's on the run.
Yeah, just the way they edit that and they build up the tension of the scene. And there's something that's so just revolutionary about like what he's doing here, like the way he's able to understand the audience like want and desire when they're watching something and play with their emotions. Just building up the tension, something's going to happen. And I'm like, what's going to happen? He does that a lot in this movie. I think that's so ingenious,
Yeah, for sure.
Something we take for granted nowadays in movies,
Yeah. I think after watching this, I want to do like a series. I think I want to watch all of the movies that are in LA Noir.
Yeah.
And just do like a series on that. And like, just for the show, I guess that could be cool.
Yeah, I'm down. I love noir films. Like one of my favorite genres. So.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a little noir picture? They're fun. They're cool. They're mysterious. Also, The Big Sleep is another movie that's like on the marquees in LA Noir, so I got to watch that. And then Carol Reed's Odd Man Out. Carol Reed also did The Third Man, which also has Orson Welles in it and stuff. It's a nice little connection. I want to watch those movies and stuff. Just taking the noir, the influence of like that's in the game and shit. Yeah.
Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth divorced shortly after the movie.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised either. It's just so funny when you see that, or it's like, this is the last hurrah or something.
Yeah, he's probably so gassed during this movie.
They,
especially the parts where they go out to like wherever they go out on the boat and they're like on vacation. He was probably getting so lit at night, dude.
Well, I mean, this is one of the first films to really go like on location. Before then, it was like a lot of them were shot in studio. Like I said, like Harry Cohen wanted everything to be like on set in studio. He liked the look of that more. And Orson Welles was like, no, we're going to fucking, Mexico.
Yeah.
We're going to San Francisco or Sausalito.
Yeah, they go to Sausalito.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah. And dude, of course he's getting gassed, dude. It's like a vacation for him too.
Yeah, he probably just was like, oh, I'm going on vacation.
This
movie and shit. Even though he was able to pull off a fucking kind of a masterwork of craft with this movie.
It was cool. Like it looked fucking amazing. Like the shots in Mexico and like the shots of the river behind them and everyone partying. Like I was like, dude, that's kind of like Apocalypse Now, like level like craft of like. I'm sure they were really partying.
All the background work.
I love the courtroom scene too. I thought the courtroom scene was
really where the lawyer interviews himself.
Yeah, he's so good. That actor. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He was one of like the standout performances of it. Yeah, check out the film. I think it's worth a watch. And
Yeah, if you're into cinematography and craft and technique and stuff, and you like noir elements, even though they're a little bit basic and predictable, like it's still worth checking out. And especially for Orson Welles, it's always worth watching an Orson Welles movie. My favorite Orson Welles movie is F for Fake.
yeah. I mean, I love Citizen Kane. It's so fucking good. What they're able to do there in Gordon Willis is like fucking amazing.
You mean Greg Toland?
Oh, is it Greg? Yeah, it's Greg Toland.
Yeah.
Greg Toland is fucking amazing. But Magnificent Emerson is so good too.
Yeah, man.
Like,
we should talk about that
yeah.
as well. I'll be honest, or rewatch and talk about that because that's a really, really good movie. I think that's also a masterpiece.
Yeah, that's also a masterpiece that was kind of ruined by like
The ending.
studio influence. He was so ahead of his time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I don't think Lady from Shanghai is a masterpiece.
no, I mean, if Orson Welles was in like the Film Brats era,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, dude, he had like free reign.
Yeah, like same with Hitchcock. You know?
Yeah.
Orson Welles, Lady from Shanghai, 1947. We out here.